Hello?
Hi, hello. Is this Geronte?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Hey, man. Just want to let you know this is Tommy Bryson. This call is gonna be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube. Okay, is that cool?
That's fine. Oh, can you give me like a couple seconds? I literally just got off work. I was trying to schedule it like soon I leave. Let me wash my hands. 3 seconds.
All right,
Give me
bro.
like 3 seconds.
All right,
How
brother.
you
How can
doing,
I
man?
help you?
Well, first I want to say thank you for everything that you did a lot for me. You don't even know. You helped me with my credit a good lot. Now I'll teach credit. I started teaching credit, and people come to me now to get their credit
Awesome.
fixed. And it was based
Awesome.
off all your information. So I want to
Awesome.
thank you on that. And I want
Awesome.
to thank you on the acorns too, because when I started acorns, I got discouraged too when I only put $5 on there when I was 18. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
5,000 in there, man. And that was
Wow.
just the grace of you. So I just want to say thank you.
How old are you, man?
I am 20. I'm turning 21 tomorrow. Tomorrow, actually, literally tomorrow. I turn
Yeah.
21. And I watched your side business. I watched your side business video, the type of side business you should do, and type of side hustles that you don't need to go to school for. So I
Mm-hmm.
went to school for construction, and now I work a full-time construction job. So
Awesome.
I've been doing that on the side, and that been paying me well now. So I start putting more money to my Acorns account and have that on recurring. But what I need mostly help on, what I'm trying to figure out, should I should I open a credit repair business? Because I already fix people credit, but I don't have a business for it. I just do it. Does it make more sense to just keep doing it without the LLC and the ESN, or should I just go ahead and just keep doing how I'm doing it?
All right. So let me ask you a question. What's your current income right now?
My current income, I really don't know. I really just started this job. I make about 16 an hour, so I can't calculate that because it hasn't been a month yet. So what's
Yeah.
16 times 30? Let me see. What's 1650? What's 1650 times 30? You times it by the month, right?
You just work you work just 30 hours a week?
Yeah, 30 hours a week, but sometimes I do overtime. Like this, literally my first week starting at the job. 'Cause I just completed school, so it
Okay.
wasn't really hard for me to get the job. So I just started this week. Literally, this is my second day. Literally, as we speak, I literally just left off work. I'm literally still at the place.
Okay. Awesome.
Um, this is my second day working here, so I just know I make 1650,
Okay.
but
So
I
all right.
haven't
So,
started the
so that's
overtimes
somewhere
and
around. Let's
all
just
that.
say, for example, like $1,700 a month, right? Let's just
Right,
say
we'll
that,
set
like
up.
like a very low estimate. And on top of that, this credit repair business you have going on, like how much money have you making? Have you been making? Do you know?
I get like 5 customers a week, so
Okay.
I
So much
make
does that
about
make you?
I charge 50, so mostly I get around 200 or 250.
250. And it's just
So
like
we're gonna
word of
say
mouth, I'm guessing,
250 a
right?
month. We're gonna say 250 a month. Yeah, it's word of mouth.
Yeah. All right. So 250 a month. Now let me ask you a question, right? This credit repair thing, is it something that you actually want to pursue, or do you like construction and that's what you want to do?
Really, credit is the main thing I love to do, but the construction just to just have a great income coming
Yeah,
in
steady
to my
income.
credit business, blow up, and then eventually I want to leave.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What? Show me like All right, so tell me what's your process. So let's say, for example, I come to you. I have a few charge-offs. I have collections in my account. I have a few missed payments. How do you fix my credit?
First, I send them a chart. I send them a chart so they can know what is credit first. I like to teach people about credit before I do all that because I don't want to just fix your credit score and you don't know what credit is. So
Okay.
I explain what credit utilization is, payment history, dictated marks, account history, all that. I explain that and break it down in a way they understand.
Okay.
I try to do it a little different. So if say you like basketball, I try to put it in basketball terms, and
Okay.
they get it more. So that's why more people recommend me because I'm not gonna get off the phone to you to you get
So
it,
you understand? Yeah.
you understand. And the way I get rid of collections, I just call them or I tell them to call the people and ask them. And the first person say no, I just like you said, just keep recalling. and keep recalling it. Eventually, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't.
Okay. And what else do you do with charge-offs,
Um,
late payments, and all that stuff?
Say that again.
Charge-offs and late payments.
Charge late payments. That I haven't ran too many of those. Nobody had
Okay.
came to me with a late payment yet. So honestly, I just started it. I didn't want to. I kept pushing it back because I was like, no, I don't know if I'm ready. But I just started, and I never got nobody that had a late payment yet. So honestly, I don't know what to do. So
So
I'm
what are,
glad you
what are the,
asked
what
it.
are the issues you probably run into, like when it comes to like your credit card business? What do you run into?
Most I run it is to people not knowing what credit is, and mostly
Okay.
collections.
So it
That
sounds
I never ran through somebody that don't make payments on time.
okay. So it sounds like so you wouldn't know how to. Okay. So it sounds like I have a business starting, and I'm usually just fixing collections by calling them in and all that stuff. And on top of that, I'm more of educating people on credit. Does that sound right?
Right.
Okay. So
That's more my target. It's really more of teach you about credit, not more of fixing it. Because well, I
okay.
can help you fix it, but I don't really know the information on, how to get rid of a late payment and everything like that.
Okay. Here would be my advice, right? My advice would be if you want to get into like helping people full time as far as like credit and all this stuff and like finance, like probably just start reading a lot more about that stuff, right? And then if you want to start, for
Okay.
example, like a YouTube channel on it and build a course, because by the way, getting on the phone and making things a lot more personal is very good, right? Like one-on-one conversations, all this stuff. But when it comes to a business and a large scale business, it's one of the most inefficient ways to do it because basically there's only one of you and you can't go through all those things every single day, right? So probably better
Right.
if you learn a bit more about everything, the whole process, for people that actually know what they're doing, like more than you do, like a person that you actually admire a lot, and find out everything that person knows, and then say to them, okay, I'm gonna build a course, the best course ever, when it comes to educating you on credit and how to fix your own credit. And then what you
Okay.
need to do is drive traffic. How do you drive traffic to that? If you want to do organic, for example, you do YouTube videos on, hey, here's how you fix credit. And you go through everything that I went through, for example, when it comes to making videos on Instagram, promoting it. And that's basically it. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And the mentor part, really, yeah, I feel like you're my mentor. I really been watch. I really watch all your videos. I come to all your videos. Literally, you like on some of them. Um,
Thank you.
I literally watch every video you drop. Like every credit card video you made. I literally
Mm-hmm.
watch all. I watch all your videos. Really, your saving account that you just made. I watch that too. I watch each one, and sometimes, if I'm really cool with the person, I even tell them about the waterfront. I say, hey, man, you should start doing a waterfront. Just put like $25 in there and just explain with it the highest saving account, and that it builds money over time. And I tell
Mm-hmm.
them about acorns and all that. Even you don't know you don't use acorn anymore, but I tell
Mm-hmm.
people about acorn because it's something I do. I don't want to tell them something
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
something an app that I don't use. So I rather
Yeah.
tell them something that I know what's working for me, and just tell them, what to do, and just put a recurring payment on there, and I tell them to do that on their credit cards. The
Yeah.
main thing, the main thing, what I have ran to about credit card is people not knowing about credit. So I
Yeah.
haven't really ran to nobody with not missing payments and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't know the information, man, I would sit there and look there on YouTube, watch
Yeah.
a whole video on the body, and try to sit there and explain because I'm good at getting information and try to put it in a way that a person can understand. Even though I
That's how
don't
it's
even
supposed to
understand it,
be.
but I
Yeah.
can I
That's how
can
it's
literally
supposed to
sit
be.
there and explain it.
All right.
You know?
So on top of that, let me break this down. Why I don't use Acorns anymore? Are you cool with that?
Okay,
All
that's
right.
fine.
So I stopped using Acorns. So say for example, you have 5K in your account, like you do right now.
Right.
And by the way, when you started at age 19 or 18, wasn't it? 18?
18. I
Yeah.
started 18.
So when you started at age 18, the portfolio you had back then is different from the one you have now. Did you know that?
Yeah, I noticed that. They
Okay.
sent me an email saying that it was gonna change. They just sent me a
Oh,
recent email saying they're gonna change it again now too.
yeah. So let me tell you something, right? Let's say for example, you have, let's say, $100,000 in there. It's been a few years. You have 100K in there. You've been investing for a while now. So brokerage is like a normal taxable account. Let's say they say, okay, we're gonna change it again. When they change it, what that means basically say, hey, we're gonna sell your investments and reinvest the money into, for example, other investments. Now what happens is if you have a gain and any of those, the answer is you're gonna be taxed like crazy. That's what
Oh
I didn't
wow.
like about it. Yeah. So the reason I switched is basically they have too much control, and the whole idea was, well, if they have that control but they never use it, I don't care, because the whole idea is, acorns is like an oak tree. An oak tree is stable forever, all this stuff. But keeping changing things not what I want, because this is a tax problem. So what I did was, if you remember, when you were 18, the portfolio how it's called moderately aggressive,
I remember that.
more conservative. Yeah, yeah. So the moderately aggressive one is the one I used to use back then. And when they
Yeah.
switched it over, I said, I'm not gonna deal with this. So what I did was I went over to M1 Finance and I built an exact replica of my portfolio, of the
The
moderately aggressive
old.
portfolio. Yeah, yeah. But now
Okay.
I invest the same amount of money, the same money, right? But the answer is now no one can change it. Only I can change it. And it's still, for example, I invest money. It does it automatically for me. I don't have to do anything. It's the same thing, but you have more control and more power. That's why I switched from Acorns to M1 Finance.
So is it still? Would it still consider as a Roth IRA?
Well, yes. M1
Okay.
Finance does also have Roth IRAs. They have individual taxable accounts. They have Roth IRAs. Also, for example, custodial accounts. They have everything over there. So if you want to open up, for example, a Roth IRA and pick your investments, you can basically pick the same ones that I have or the one you have currently have right now, if you like those ones, and basically build it over there. But guess what? No one can change it for you. Like, only you can change it. Only you have power. And that's the best thing. That's the one thing I did not like about Acorns. Way too much power. If they want to change something, they can change it. If someone buys at the company, they can change it. It's just something I don't want to deal with. That's why I changed.
Yeah, it changed it a lot too. But it just changed it this month too.
I mean, at least you have it in a retirement account, so you won't really be hit. But when you have, for example, money in the tax, because eventually, when you make more money and you max up, for example, the Roth IRA, and maybe like your 401k match or whatever, if you have leftover money, you can put it in a taxable account. But if they can change it constantly, it's gonna be a problem because it's gonna be taxes like crazy.
Okay, so if I put, because I want, my goal is to put 6,000 in there this year. I want, that's the max, ain't it? The 6,000
Yeah,
maxing it out,
yeah. For
right?
the Roth IRA, that's the
So,
max.
so when I max, my goal this year was going to max it out this year. I want to max it out, and when I max it out, I was going to do what you did, was transfer it.
All
to
right. Here's a tricky thing about transferring from Acorns too. They charge you
Okay.
$50 per ETF. That's what they don't tell you.
What? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I think it's $50 to $75 per ETF. So when I transfer over, it wasn't that simple. I transfer over, the biggest investment was basically like around 38% of my money, and that was like in
Uh-huh.
the S&P 500 one. So I transferred that one over, but the other ones I just sold, because how the heck am I supposed to pay, for example, $250 just to transfer my investments? You see, when I understood all those things, I just didn't like the company as much. That's why it just started adding up more and more. So what I did was, I had SoFi money, like SoFi Invest, transfer the money for free because they can do that. They can cover the whole fee for me. And by the way, there's also like a trick to do it, but it's kind of like unethical. But if you want, you can do it. But the idea is, SoFi doesn't have a cap and how many times they'll transfer. So basically, if you
Okay.
transfer one ETF, you can transfer the next one the next time, and so on and so on. But the problem is that Acorns is going to constantly rebalance your portfolio by buying more investments to equal everything back to normal. So by the time you buy the next one, it's already different. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so confusing. So that's why I just went ahead and say, okay, I'm going to transfer the main one. I'm going to sell everything else and use that money for M1 Finance and invest it directly into my portfolio. But I think maybe you can actually transfer your whole Roth IRA account over to M1 Finance. But again, look look into if Acorns is going to charge you a fee per ETF, because they have the habit of doing that. So it's a
Okay.
headache. So just check in, make sure you call them, or you can email Acorns to find out, hey, if I want to transfer my Roth IRA account or my ETFs, is it fine if I do that, or are you going to charge me a fee? And they should tell you.
Okay. I don't think they have a number.
They do have a number, actually. It's top secret though. Like they used to show it all the time, but they no longer show it. I can give it to you if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Acorn, it's so weird that you can't get. So the Acorns phone
Yeah,
number.
I never thought of, because I tried to call them one day, asked them a question, and then I looked it up, and they said they didn't have a number. I said, how was it ever get information from them?
I mean, maybe they cancel the number, but they're very quick with emails, by the way. That's the thing, because I want to go
Okay.
more email based. But the phone number I have for Acorns is
855
739.
739.
Yeah, 739 twenty
Okay.
eight fifty nine.
2859.
Yeah, that's the number I have for
Okay.
them. However, though, whatever question you have, usually it should be in the FNQ, or for example, you can just email them. It's a lot easier and a lot faster for them. So I'll try emailing them first and then checking the FNQ also just to make sure. But if you can't
Okay.
find your answer, then calling them is gonna be your best bet.
Okay. Well, I should call them. I'm going to call them and
All right,
ask
now,
them that.
yeah. Now, there's something else I want to talk about, right? You have this, you have a very solid job, by the way. And where do you live, by the way? What state are you in?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. What's
Yeah.
like the average house price in your area?
Well, since I'm just like you, man. I'm cheap, man. So
Yeah.
I was trying to look the cheap route. So I had found a roommate. I found the roommate that I live with, and only charged me $550 a month.
Okay, awesome. But what's the average like home price in your area? Like if you were gonna buy?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
All right,
I
all
really
right.
don't even know.
So I would want you to check Zillow also, right? Do you have any debt, by the way?
Do I have a debt? Yes, I have a car loan, $16,000.
Wow. How much is the car worth?
I have no clue.
Yeah. So you want to go to Kelly's Blue Book to verify the car value. And let me ask you a
Okay.
question also, right? You work construction. How often do you actually use this car? Like aside from going from point A, your home, to work. Aside from that, how often do you use it?
Can you say that again? My phone broke up.
I said, how often you use this car? Like excluding work, how often do you use this car?
Every day.
Every day. Okay. My advice would be
Every
this,
day.
man. If I were in your place right now, I'd probably find out the value of the car, sell it, cut my losses, and buy a decent car. Because you don't need that car for work. You just need it to go to work. There's a difference. You know what I mean?
I just usually go to work.
Yeah, exactly. You just need a reliable car to go to work, but you don't actually use it to do work. There's a difference. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah. $16,000 is a lot of money.
And what's crazy is when I got the car, because I got my credit right. I got my credit right at 18. I got my credit right at 18. This is when you start making the videos, and I just did exactly what you said, dude. You know, start with Capital One. I think you said don't get self, but I ended up getting self car, which I think ultimately did regret. But I don't regret it now because, well, not the builder account. I don't really regret because that what boosted my credit up to like 100 points. So it boosted me up 100 points. So that had got me in the 700 club. And I just did what you said, you know, keep your creditization, put like a phone bill on there. I used to put my phone bill on there. I already have an auto pay. So every month it would go up. And now, I don't, like you said, I think you said Credit Karma is not your real score, but it gives you an estimate, right?
Yeah, it's an estimate. It's fine.
Okay. So Credit Karma, let me see what it is now.
And by the way, bro, building credit is great, right? But building credit just shows basically how you manage debt. So you have to have some form of debt. Yeah. So the whole idea, that's why I say like just put like a small bill on it. That way you don't go into debt and all that stuff. But the idea, for example, that what they love to do is say, well, this person can manage debt. So let's, for example, give them a car loan. Now you owe, for example, $16K on this car. Although it's probably not worth that much, right? So maybe you go out there and you buy a house, right? A big house you can't afford. Now you have a problem there too, right? You borrow money on credit cards, now you have a problem there too. The point is you build credit, but you don't build debt. That's not what I want for you. So most likely, if I were in your shoes right now, I'm 21 years old, I just graduated, I have a really good job, and I also have like a side business. I'd probably, for example, do the side business and also my main job, but also, for example, either sell this car or pay it off very quickly, very fast. I'd probably sell it, honestly, don't want to deal with it. Buy a decent, reliable car for like $5,000, $6,000. Now I have that car, I can go from point A to point B. On top of that, you're maxing out your Roth IRA already, which is awesome, but also consider, hey, I gotta build an emergency account. So if anything does happen, I'll be good to go, 3 to 6 months in there. So if I lose my job, because by the way, construction is, you know, it's all by the season, right? Sometimes you'll have like you have like very busy months, but sometimes there'll be like more debt and so on. So you got to make sure like you have money on the side to take care of yourself when things get slow. Now, once you have that emergency account, the answer is you're maxing out your Roth IRA, but now you can start saving up for a down payment for a home. You know what I mean? And when it comes to buying go ahead.
I also did that too. with the emergency account, because one of my favorite videos by you is the 3 ways to go broke fast. I literally watch it like 2 times a day because it just that I read the book and the book was so I was just eye opening. You know how it
Mm-hmm.
is, how something it doesn't affect you now, it'll affect you later on,
Yeah.
which is so true. So, but I already did all that when you told me, when you give me advice, I do it. Like when you said open a mercy account, waterfront. So I waterfront. What I got in there? I literally just today just put 1,000 in there. I just
Mm-hmm.
finished my 1,000 in there
Yeah.
because I put it when I was 18. I had 1,000 there, but I ended up getting fired. Like that was
Yeah.
crazy. I ended up getting fired,
Things
and I had to
happen.
pay all this stuff off. Had my car note was due, credit
Yeah.
cards was due, and that one thing cost like $800 or $900. So
Yeah.
I had to build it back up from 100, and
Yeah.
now I'm back to 1,000. So now I don't want to put myself in that situation again. So I try not to. I try to keep building up. I have it on recurring payment, and always put money in there.
Well, imagine this, right? Imagine a new life for yourself, right? Imagine, for example, a few months from now, you sold this car, you don't have that debt anymore. You don't have any credit card debt either. You have like the one bill method, great. And then, for example, you have a full-blown emergency account. So even if you lose your job, you're good for 3 months or 6 months. You'll find a job no matter what, right? You're in a great field. Now, on top of that, you're also investing and saving money, for example, for your down payment. It's just a lot better. All your money is going towards building you up and not towards paying anybody else or making anybody else rich.
Anybody else stuff.
Yeah, you know what I
Well,
mean?
I have a car loan. So how would I get rid of a car loan?
Well, the idea is you would
'Cause
sell the
my car
car.
loan is with Atlanta Postal Credit Union. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a credit union.
You
I
can
don't
contact
I
you
don't
can
know.
contact them and they'll break it down for you. You can tell them like, hey, I want to get in the process of selling this car because they own the title of the car, and you got to tell the person who's going to buy the car, hey, they have the title. We can put the money in escrow, and then I can basically pay it off with the money that I have plus your money, and then they can transfer the title over to you. But talk to your lender, the person that actually has the title. Ask them what the
Uh-huh.
process is according to them, and you can sell the car that does have a loan on it. But the idea is you get the money, the difference, you pay off the car with the money that the buyer also gives you, and that way you're done with it, right? You're done with it. You don't have that 16K loan anymore going over your head. When you buy a 5K $6,000 car, it isn't as nice or luxurious, but it's your car and you fully own it. It's a big difference.
So would that affect me? Would it affect my credit score?
Again, right? It won't affect your credit score because again, you're also paying it off. And I don't want you,
Oh, okay.
I know you're into credit, but I don't want you to get too focused on credit, right? Because again,
Okay.
credit is just showing I can manage debt. When it
Yeah.
comes to buying a house, right? You don't even need
Mm-hmm.
credit. There's something
Oh,
called
really?
you don't need credit. There's something called manual underwriting, which means they have to look at your actual situation, like what's your income, how much money do you owe, and from then on, they can go ahead and say, hey, we'll give you this rate and this much money, right? A credit score just makes things a lot more easier for them to analyze you, but you don't need a credit score whatsoever when it comes to buying. I thought so too, but you don't. Not every
Oh,
bank is the
wow.
same, but you can find a bank that does, for example, manual underwriting and do the whole process for you without you need to build credit. So credit is cool, make things easier, but it's not all that important. So don't, if you're doing everything correctly and you lose a few points, don't go crazy. The goal is to
Okay.
hype yourself up personally, build yourself like your own wealth, but don't worry about so much like, hey, oh my gosh, they're gonna lower me by 5 points or 10 points. I'm gonna lose my. Don't worry about it. You're good. You're solid.
Okay. So I
And
need to call them and ask them
yeah,
how to get
yeah.
rid of a car
What's the
loan.
process when it comes to, hey, I have this car loan. What's the process if I want to go ahead and sell it? Just ask them, and they'll tell you. Look it up on
Okay.
YouTube too. Like they'll tell you everything you need to know. That's the whole idea.
Okay, I need to call them. I'm gonna call them today. Well, what time is it? Oh, never mind. They're closed. I'll call them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, remember, right? If you have an emergency account fully funded, right, and that's
Mhm.
taken care of, right? Boom, that's taken care of. Now, the next thing is if you're investing, for example, between 10 to 25% of your money, great. That's into
Right.
your Roth IRA first, right, to max it out. And if your company gives you, for example, a match, which you probably don't get in construction, they might give you like a 401k match. If they do, great. Take advantage of the free money they give you. Any money
Yeah, they
left
do 401k.
over, yeah. I mean, what's your match? Did they give you free money?
Yeah, I didn't even ask.
Yeah, ask them. Like, hey, do you
Okay.
guys give me free money? Like a match. For every dollar I invest, how much do you give me? And what's the cap on it? Whatever the cap is, invest enough money to get the cap, to get all that free money. put the rest of the money, for example, into your Roth IRA. Any money left over can be put, for example, into a taxable account. But again, it's only 10 to 25% of your money. On top of that, you can take, for example, around 15% of your money to 25% of your money and start saving that up for a down payment for a house, right? When you buy a house, the goal is to own a house, not to finance a house for 30 years. So the rule
I have... 15 years, right?
Yeah. The rule I have is basically you buy it on a 15-year mortgage and you follow, for example, the 33% rule. Meaning, hey, this house, all of expenses, for example, the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, the HOA fee, the maintenance, everything included cannot exceed more than 33% of my monthly income. And also put that between 10 to 20%, right? If you can find a house that has that for you, and you put down, for example, an extra 15% towards the house every time you get paid, in around 7 to 10 years, you will own that house. Meaning at 20, maybe 29 to 30, you have your own house fully paid off. No mortgage payments. You don't have to rent with anybody. You're good to go. Now you have a bunch of extra money because while you were doing this, you were also investing, by the way. A bunch of money in your investments, a bunch of free cash flow with that money. And by the way, hopefully by that point, your credit business has blown up even further, right? So you have to make more money or whatever. But the goal is by that point, you're financially free. And that's what I want for you.
And that's what I'm aiming for, man.
Yeah, man. It's all about financial free, but go ahead.
3 things you said. I just want to make sure I'm getting 3 things down.
Okay.
Call the people that gave me the car loan.
Yes.
Second, switch my ACORNs to an MF1. It's MF1?
M1 Finance. So that's M1, like M and the number 1, and then finance, the word finance, if you want to.
M1 Finance. Okay. Well, I feel like that is the better route. Because I do look at your account, the account that you show us, and I see the increase, man. I'm like, yo, he's really increasing that much. So I always wonder why the ACORN even did that. If you're increasing off that one, well, why would they even switch it up like that?
They adjusted based on the situation, right? And I understand that, right? If we have customers that are going to be worried about a pandemic and all this stuff, you want to switch over to make things a little bit more conservative. I get that. But the play is that if you're going to be, by the way, don't take into account my gains because your gains, everyone's gains right now are going to be inflated because the whole economy is growing like crazy, and that's just basically artificial. But in the long term, right? The whole thing is a long term. In the long term, it'll grow by around 10 to 12% a year. That's what you want, right? So that money is just for the future. So don't worry about whatever you have right now. Worry about in the future. And in the future, I don't want anyone to have the power to be like, you know what? We're going to switch things over and just mess up my whole thing. You know, that's why I switch over to M1 Finance, okay?
Because it's your option. You get to change it out or not.
Yeah, and I'm not going to change it, right? Because it's for the long term. Okay. I don't ever want to change it. Yeah, that's why.
Okay. So how do I go about? Oh, you said call ACORN. So I need to call ACORN. I need to write this down.
Or just search it up on the FNQ. Look it up on the FNQ.
Okay.
F and Q. It's like frequently asked questions. That's what it is.
And if they say they do, because I don't know if I can get you on the phone again. If they do,
just schedule another call.
Okay. If they do $50 or $75 for that's just a range. I'm not saying that's what they'll do. Yeah. But should I just be like, no, I might well keep the money in there because it'll affect me more?
No. Look, yeah, because it's in a Roth IRA. There'll be a penalty and all this stuff. You gotta. Oh, that's awesome, man. The way they built that business is pretty cool. That's a great question. So what do I do if that happens? I would probably go the sleazy route where I try to, but SoFi doesn't have a Roth account, I think, just yet. So that's tough. If it does have that, most likely you might just want to keep the money in there.
Okay.
But you're paying like $3, right? A month.
I'm paying $3 a month.
Yeah. So the thing, okay, just analyze the penalty, right? Like just do like the whole opportunity cost here. So the penalty is gonna be like around 10% plus ordinary tax on your gains and stuff like that. It might not be that much of a big deal if you want to do that. So if they say, hey, how many you have, like 5 ETFs or 7?
How many ETFs I have?
Yeah, you have 5 or 7.
On the ACORN app?
Yeah, it should tell you.
Okay, right now.
Just count the ETFs. How many are there?
Oh, ETFs. How many ETFs are there? They are one, two, six.
Yeah, so we're talking about 6 multiplied by 50. If they do charge a $50 fee, that's $300 they're gonna charge you to move things over. So
Okay.
$300, yeah, divided by 5,000, that's basically a 6% fee that they're actually gonna take from your account. Now, I think the Roth IRA rule is basically you can take out the money you contributed, but if you take out the gains, you'll be taxed on those. So if you can take out the money you contributed, you'll be fine, which is going to be like the bulk of your money. You probably don't have that much gain. You can leave, for example, the money that is actually like the gains, and you'll be fine. You should be fine on that. So if you can do that, which is like the bulk of your, like around like 90% of your money is gonna be like the money you put in. You can take that money out, put that into M1 Finance, you just leave them there with whatever gain you got left over, and just open up, for example, your Roth IRA in M1 Finance, or just weigh the cost of the penalty on whatever money's left over, and find out through there. But you see, man, it's very illiquid when you have like all these penalties in place, and like, for
I know. That's
example,
why I was like, you should see my head. I'm so confused. That's so much.
yeah. So just take it
Oh,
easy. So step by step, right? Call them on finance. Find out if they have a crazy fee. If they do have the fee, you wanna like basically weigh the options. Go
okay.
online and type in Roth IRA penalty calculator. She'll tell you, hey, if I have this much money in gains, how much money will I pay in taxes and everything? If it's
Rough
less money,
IRA.
yeah,
You
penalty
said rough
calculator.
IRA what?
Penalty
Penalty.
calculator.
I'm not
It's
good
just
at spelling. I spell penalty.
penalty.
P-E-N-T. My bad. I suck at spelling.
PENALTY.
Okay, I did spell it right.
Yeah, and by the way, it'll correct you automatically. It's Google. Don't worry about it. So penalty
Yeah.
calculator, you type that in, it should tell you like, hey, here's how much you'll actually pay in the whole thing, and that's the idea. If it's less than the amount you'll be paying, for example, with the whole transfer over, you can probably just say, okay, I'll take this L with this, but I'll never take this L again because basically I'm going to transfer over to M1 Finance. That's the idea.
Okay.
And if you want to copy my portfolio, in all my videos, I have a link. And if you click the
Oh
link
yeah.
that says M1 Finance, like all the videos have a link. Like the latest video is a link to M1 Finance. And when you click it, it says invest directly in this portfolio. And when you invest into it, you get like $10 or $30. So that can be basically one ETF, I guess. Maybe like a quarter of an ETF that they're going to charge you for. Yeah. And you can use that to basically open up your Roth IRA and just have everything set up. And once you have the money, you can send it over there and you'll automatically distribute it across exactly what you want to invest it into. Now, once you have that, make sure, for example, you also set up auto investments. So that way you're
Okay.
automatically investing and so on, okay?
And that way I shouldn't be using acorns anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you'll leave whatever gains are in there. If the math says just leave the gains, that's fine. But yeah, I still have money in there. I still have like $1,000 because basically I get a lot of referrals like till this
Okay.
day. But I don't use it at all when it comes to investing, at all.
That
It's
makes,
it's,
that
it's
makes sense.
too it's too illiquid and it's kind of confusing. Like all this switching. Like I want something like that's more stable. It's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, they switch a lot too. They recently just switched it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So
All
that's
right,
what I'm
brother.
gonna do. I'm gonna call them and first I'm gonna ask about the car. I'm gonna do the car loan thing first,
Mm-hmm.
and do the second. So so would I have to buy my own car with my? I would have to buy a car with my own cash
No, no, no,
if
no, no,
they.
no, no, no. If you sell the car,
Okay.
that based on the Kelly's Blue Book value. So I have a 16K
Okay.
loan, but the car is worth 10K. If I can sell the
Right.
car for 10K, that's $10,000 I have now, plus 6K. I can pay off the loan, and they can basically release the title over to the other owner. That's the idea. You don't need to have the full
Oh.
amount.
Okay. Okay. I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, that's the idea. And remember, right? Make sure everything is automated. Your investments, but by the way, right now, probably pause all investments and try to get rid of all this debt you have, like with this car thing, like by selling it or doing whatever you got to do, and also saving up for
Okay.
like a car. But once everything is settled and you have no debt or none of that stuff, you can resume investing and just make sure investing is automated for you, 10 to 25%. When it comes to emergencies, 10 to 25% also until you like reach a cap of around 3 to 6 months. So that way it's doing it automatically with Wealthfront. And then when it comes to, for example, well, that's and then the down payment, you can also save that money up automatically also. So just make sure everything is being done automatically. So whatever money is left over in your account is just money for you to go ahead and spend without any remorse.
Okay. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Because I didn't know. I didn't know if I needed to pay my debt first or keep just investing money because
the idea
I
is
be having extra money on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would do, say if I paid all my bills
Mm-hmm.
and I still have like, okay, we'll say roughly, usually I have a rough like over like $500 or $600 left. So what
Mm-hmm.
I would do, I would just put, I do the rule what you said, just put 10%, use 10% to investment. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
10% investment, and I put like 10% in emergency, and then put the rest to debt. So all my
Mm-hmm.
debt, I don't use my, like you said, credit's not that important. I don't use my credit card. I don't use my credit
Mm-hmm.
card at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
I just put like $20 on there or a phone bill on there. So what
Mm-hmm.
I'll do, I'll just put all that money to
Mm-hmm.
my emergency account. So that's why it was so easy to build my emergency account back up when I got the
Mm-hmm.
construction job. Because all I did was the bonus they paid me, they paid you like a little something just for,
Mm-hmm.
just to be on their team. So I
Mm-hmm.
just used that money and just build my saving accounts back up.
Mm-hmm.
And I also used my, when we got the stimulus check, I also used that to put that money in there too, because I didn't need the money. I just, instead of spending it, I just rather, put in my waterfront and let it build over time.
Okay. So basically, that's the old format I used to use, where basically you're kind of like doing the 10, 10, 10 here. The new
Yeah,
format is basically it's a little bit more concise, right? You have the 6 accounts. The 6 accounts are basically emergencies, investments, debt, expenses, fund, and charity, right? Those are 6
right.
accounts. Now the idea is you put 1% on everything except expenses and also debt. So
Okay.
expenses are like a little higher, obviously, because you have to live, and then all the money goes towards basically debt, and just 1% everything else just to build those habits and don't stop. But by the way, once you save up, for example, 1K in emergencies, you're good to go for now while you're paying off this debt. If you're gonna keep the car, you have to wait until you pay off this car to go ahead and basically increase the amount of money put towards emergencies and also your investments. But if you're gonna sell the car, it's a lot better. If you sell the car, great. You don't have that anymore. You move on to step 2, which is basically building wealth in a foundation. So now you put 10 to 20% for emergencies and then 10 to 25% for investing, right? And once you
Okay.
get to that 3 to 6 months of emergencies, now you move on, for example, to the wealth building section, which is all about, well, I have my emergencies, I have no debt. Well, now let me go ahead and invest, for example, 10 to 25%. Well, I'm saving, for example, 15 to 20% towards this down payment. And when I have that 10 to 20% in there, I can go ahead and buy this home with the rules I gave you, and then basically put an extra 15% towards paying the mortgage early. And once the mortgage is paid off, I move on to the autopilot. Now you're just investing. You have no bills, nothing crazy going on, and you're basically more financially free. That's the idea. But you're still investing while you're paying off the house, because basically you don't want to miss out on all that compound interest.
Right. So when I don't know if I'm ready for a house, man. I'm 21.
Well, remember, right?
I
We're
should
talking
start now,
about
but
yeah. I mean, the down
yeah.
payment is gonna take you a while, brother. Remember that, right?
Yeah,
You're
that's true,
21
though.
now, but a down payment, for example, of maybe let's say $40,000 is gonna take you a while to save that money up.
That's true. Plus, if I start now, I wouldn't have to work.
Yeah, exactly. So if you save up this money now while you're also investing 10 to 25%,
You did
great.
this in one of your videos. I was thinking about this in one of your videos. Getting the FHA loan.
If you get an
Get an
FHA loan, the idea is,
Uh-huh.
right, it's more expensive because you also have private mortgage insurance.
Oh, so what
And
type
you
of
also
loan should I
have,
get to get the house?
well, the minimum is 10%. But if you can basically put down, for example, 20% is better, because that way you don't have to get, for example, mortgage insurance anymore, private mortgage insurance. That way you avoid
Okay.
that fee. And also your mortgage amount is going to be lower, because basically you're borrowing less money. Does that
Oh,
make
that makes
sense?
sense. That do make
Yeah.
sense.
And you
So
can
I'm
basically
not.
buy a house that's more expensive too, right? Because if you have extra money to put down, you can buy a little fancy, like a little fancier house than you would
Okay.
when it comes to following the 33% rule.
That makes sense. So I should go get a private mortgage loan.
You should, yeah, exactly. You should go get a mortgage, and you're gonna be putting down 20% in order, for example, to avoid private mortgage insurance. That's the insurance
Okay.
that is mandated for the banks to basically pay, as basically in case the loan goes down. So it's not for you. It's for the banks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you put down
So I need to
20%,
get
you
a.
avoid that. But if it's for example, if the average house in your area is $20,000, putting down, for example, 20% is around 40K. But if all you can basically save is 10,000, like 10%, that's 20K. So basically, it's a lot easier to get into it, and you work towards paying off as possible. That way, you get to that 20% of equity, and then you can stop paying that private mortgage insurance. That's the goal, and then just pay it off fast as possible.
So the average house here is probably around, I want to say 100,000, 130,000.
Yeah,
minimum.
even better, man.
I never seen a house that's that like 40K. It's more usually 130K.
All right, so that's like saving up $26,000. If you want to do, for example, 10%, we're talking about
save up 26,000.
Yeah, for 20%. If you want to do, for example, 10%, that's $13,000. A lot easier to get to.
Okay, 13,000, and that's how much I just have to put down the house. I don't have to put the full down, and over time, since I don't have no debt, I should just keep paying that down and keep using.
Exactly. You keep paying down the house.
And keep still doing them investments, but do more off the house than more investment to all the money mortgages paid out of that 15 years.
Yeah. So you're basically paying an extra 15% towards the mortgage, but you're still investing between 10 to 25% of your money because you still want to keep investing. Now, the cool thing is basically, if you buy a house with these rules, the idea is, well, how about if I have 3 bedrooms, how about I just move in 2 roommates? And now all the extra money they pay me is also money going towards this house. That way I'm done a lot faster too.
That makes it more faster.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all up to you on how you want to do it. But just be patient. Get rid of this car first. Build your emergency account. Start investing automatically. And then start saving up money for that down payment. And eventually, once you're ready, you can go ahead and buy it. Now remember, right? Life changes. And like in 2 years, you can have a whole full-blown girlfriend, then fiance, then wife, and then you can't move anybody in the house, okay? So it's up to how, So it can change, but if you follow the rules, you'll still be good. You'll still be solid.
Okay.
All right, brother. No, you have any more questions?
You, man. No, man. You answered every question I needed. So
all right,
I know exactly what I'm gonna do.
All right, cool, man. If you want to schedule another call, feel free to schedule another call, and I'll get right back to you. Okay? Thanks again, and have fun.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You changed my life, man. You might not mean a lot, but you really changed my life, man.
All right,
honestly, at the age of 18, man, you made me want to get better with finance. So I just want to say thank you for that. And you have a nice day.
I appreciate it, man. Have fun.
You too. Bye.
Guys, 18. Wow. To think that I've been posting videos for nearly 3 years, to me, is just insane. Well, finance videos, right? I've been posting since I was 11 years old, but to see the effect that what I've learned is doing, for example, makes a big difference. And by the way, none of what I say is my own, right? It's just me going out there and learning as much as possible and passing on the information to you guys for free. So I want to say I appreciate it a ton. And my goal is always to make sure that you guys are okay. When I give you guys advice, is not to say like, oh, I got to make sure I get like some kickback here or a referral link here. It's more to say, hey, if this person right here was my family, would I want what's best for them? The answer is yes. That's why, for example, he told me, Tommy, I'm using the old method. No, there's a new method, a better method, because the whole goal is you keep improving with time. So it's not about what used to work. It's more about what's working today, right? So overall, great conversation, great call. And I want to say I appreciate it a ton and thank you so much. And by the way, guys, I appreciate all the calls. You might think like, oh my gosh, Tommy's so helpful. No, you guys are helping me out a ton. There is no Tommy without you guys. There is no channel without you guys. So I want to say I appreciate you guys a ton and thank you so much again. And as always, if you guys want to talk to me one-on-one, uno, in this channel right here, we'll have a link down below. Schedule a call from Monday to Friday. They're all free, 30 minutes or more sometimes. But I'll see you guys next time. And by the way, I have a second channel, Time Bryson Show, where I post videos every single day also, and also my main channel where I also post videos every single day also, okay? And by the way, if you want to get more of me, I post every single day also on Instagram, okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow at Tommy Bryson, by the way, Instagram Tommy Bryson. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and as always, peace. Thank you.